Well, just like with your health care, getting the best care for your car means you have to take charge. And our auto guy, Brian Bowersock with West Escondido Auto, is here to make sure you know what questions you need to be answered whenever you take your car in to get it fixed right the first time.
Correct. Absolutely.
So tell us about that. I mean, most of us just go in and go, my car has a clicking or a clanging noise. Should there be more that we pay attention to when we have a problem?
Well, it does help if the consumer, the person that drives the vehicle, actually notates specific things when it happens. But the service advisor or service consultant that you're talking to when you're dropping off your vehicle really needs to ask the correct questions. We have a whole scenario as far as questions to ask so that the technician can find the problem that the consumer's having and get the vehicle fixed right the first time.
Because it sounds like from things that you've been saying that if it's early in the day, when the car is hot or cold, things like that make a big difference in what that clinging or clanging noise could be.
Correct. Noises or drivability issues, car bucking or something like that, there's often things that a service advisor should be asking. Ours go through a whole scenario. Does it happen first thing in the morning when the vehicle's first started and cold? Is it after you've driven the vehicle for a certain distance, 10 miles? Is it after a certain speed on the freeway? So there's all kinds of certain things that help narrow it down so that the technician, when working on the vehicle, can actually pinpoint what you're experiencing. Okay,
so up on our screen some important points that they should be asking. Your service technician should be asking the right questions.
Correct.
But if they don't, then you should go ahead and just already note whenever you're having the problem, if it's after 10 miles or 100 miles, whatever it is.
It does help if you make notes correct. As the driver of the car, it happens after I've been driving 10 miles. It only happens once I get on the freeway over 50 mile an hour if it's a vibration, noise, etc., drivability problem. Absolutely.
Well, one thing that you've pointed out to me when we were talking before this segment that, you know, it's one of those things when you're the professional, you look at a problem a certain way. When you're the customer, you look at it a whole different way.
Correct.
And, you know, often we all have clings and clangs in our car. So you'll take your car in and say, hey, I have a problem. But that you may hear a gazillion different problems.
Noises are the hardest thing because a consumer will come in and say, I have this noise in my vehicle. Unfortunately, a technician can go out and drive a vehicle and there can be 10 noises that we pinpoint. 9 of them aren't bothering the consumer. It's that one specific noise. If we fix the wrong noise, it's a problem. So obviously, normally what we'll do with a noise is send a technician that's going to work on the vehicle out with the customer so the customer can say that noise right there. Then we know what we're up against.
Well, what happens, I mean, I've had this problem in the past myself, that you have this noise that doesn't happen all the time. That's got to be difficult for you to pinpoint because the customers try to go, well, it makes this revving noise and it only does it certain times, but there's no pattern.
It can be very difficult. Often, and that's where the questions come in, you know, as far as is it cold, is it hot when it happens, things like that. And we can get closer to pinpointing it. Noises that happen once every 4 days, they're very difficult, and we're lucky if we get them to actually produce while we're working on the vehicle. Usually, sometimes we have to wait until it reoccurs more often.
All right, so if people want things taken care of the first time, you really do have a responsibility to come in with some information other than just this generic kind of noise.
It does help, and if whoever's servicing your vehicle, most quality facilities know to ask all the questions, but if whoever's servicing your vehicle is not asking the correct questions, you need to notate these things and supply them to them. It helps the technician tremendously, and your vehicle can get fixed right the first time. The service facility's happy they fixed your vehicle correctly. You're happy because the problem was cured for what you paid for.
Well, we're lucky with Brian. Not only do we have Brian in the studio today, but we also have his son, Zach. Can you come over? Just come over real fast and say hello to everybody. You know, after we're here for a while, week after week, we feel like you're family, and so now we get to see
Absolutely.
Zach, your son, who's family too. So just come on over, just say hello to everybody.
Just say hi to everybody.
Now, if you have a question for Brian or for Zach, you can just log on to our website at fox6.com, and we've got a link there for you both to be able to chat with either of them online if you like.